Thank you to VIVAIA for supporting the channel and sponsoring today's video. For the longest time, I've struggled with creating a wardrobe that I actually like. Decluttering helped a little, but I still felt very unsure when it came to the kind of style that I wanted to create and which items to include. But now I can honestly say that I love my minimalist wardrobe. I love and wear all the pieces that are in there. I never feel like there's anything missing. And while I now have way fewer clothing items and options to choose from than I used to, I never have that feeling of not having anything to wear. I think what changed most of all is certain habits that I used to have when it comes to shopping, wearing, styling, and decluttering. So I sat down and made a list, and today I want to share with you my 10 tips for building a minimalist wardrobe that you actually like. Hi everyone and welcome back. Before we dive into the 10 tips, I want to quickly tell you about today's sponsor, which is VIVAIA. They are a sustainable and ethical footwear brand, and they use recycled and eco-friendly materials to make really comfortable shoes. For example, each of these pairs of flats is made from 6 recycled plastic bottles that come from city waste and the ocean. I've worked with VIVAIA before. I still wear those shoes a lot, and this time they sent me 3 more pairs to try. First up, I have these water repellent boots. They have them in different heights. I got one for just above the ankle, and I really like these because it's been a very long time since I've had something that's like a little bit more dressed up and stylish like this. These fit so nicely and softly around my feet. They're really flexible. It's more like you're wearing socks, but still offers a lot of support, and there's lots of room for my toes. I also got these really lovely round toe ballet flats. I have them in black and in cream, and these cream ones are actually made from hemp. They come with the typical VIVAIA cushioning right here at the back of the heel, which I really like because normally I always get pain right here with shoes like this. But with these, it's so nice and soft. They also have their typical super soft insole, which is very comfortable, offers a lot of support, but the materials are also breathable and antimicrobial, and you can machine wash these, so you can keep them nice and neat. If you're also vegan like me, you do want to pay attention because not all of their styles are vegan, but a lot of them are, and obviously the ones I chose are also all vegan. They come in 100% recycled packaging, and they offer worldwide free returns and exchange. So if you want to try them out, you can use my code ZEN20 to get 20% off every item until November 30th. And if you buy 2 pairs, you get 25% off, and if you buy 3 pairs, you get 30% off. And if you're watching this video after November 30th, then you can still get 10% off if you use my code ZEN at checkout. So if you do need some shoes, then VIVAIA is a great brand to check out. They are comfortable, they are eco-friendly, they're high quality. So big thanks to VIVAIA for working on this with me. Let's begin with the video. Number 1 was a really important mindset shift that I had, and that is just getting rid of the notion of that perfect minimalist wardrobe, that perfect capsule wardrobe that you might see online, and realizing that that might not be realistic for everyone, and that's okay. Maybe you need a really specific style of clothing for your job, or maybe where you live you need clothing for all kinds of weather types. It all depends on your lifestyle and your preferences. So realizing that picture perfect minimalist capsule wardrobe might not actually be the best thing if you're gonna create a wardrobe that actually works for you. For me, this idea of the ideal wardrobe led to a lot of unnecessary shopping and buyer's remorse, because I had that feeling that if I could just buy those staples that I saw online, then that could get me like one step closer to that ideal, and this led me to buy a bunch of stuff that really didn't suit me and that I hardly ever wore. I just felt like my style wasn't good enough, it wasn't fashionable or fancy enough, and that I needed to level up my wardrobe, when in reality my style was fine all along, and yours might be too. So the first tip is just realizing that what works for you, that's your personal style, and that's fine, and there's no need for you to go out and buy a bunch of things to level up your wardrobe or to get closer to that ideal, if that means that you're going to be buying things that don't really suit you or that don't fit how your lifestyle currently is. Know what you like. This might sound really simple, but in fact, this is something that can be really hard for many people, and it used to be really hard for me too. It might sound silly, but it took me a long time to really accept that I am a sneakers, jeans, and tops kind of girl, it just didn't feel good enough. It didn't feel like the, you know, fashionable, fancy, chic and effortless look that I felt like I should aspire to. But in the end, this is what I always end up wearing. This is what I like. This is what I feel good in. So if that's not your personal style, then I don't know what is. So let go of what you think you should like and accept whatever it is that you actually like and that fits your lifestyle and your preferences. So I recommend going to your wardrobe and taking out all of your clothing items whenever you have a little time and divide them up into 3 piles. Really like, don't know, and really don't like. Then leave the don't know pile for now and focus on the items that you really love. Hold them in your hands and see what it is that you like about them. Make a list. Is it the colors? Is it the fabrics? Is it how they feel? Do they have a certain cut or fit? And then you can do the same with the items that you really don't like or that you never wear. What is it about them that you don't like? Are they the wrong color? Are they the wrong size? Are they uncomfortable? Or do they just not feel like you? Or is there just never an occasion in your life for you to actually wear them? Having a list like this can bring so much clarity into what it is that you're actually looking for when it comes to your clothing. And you can use that list anytime that you want to go shopping or decluttering. For me, this is what I found out. I like colors that fit the light summer type. They tend to look best on me. So cool grays, beige, soft blues, soft pinks, cool and soft basically. I like comfort most of all, so if something is uncomfortable or harsh or itchy or too tight, it has no place in my wardrobe. Preferably, I like things that accentuate my waist, but I also like bulky sweaters like the one that I have on here, which I will then combine with a tighter fitting jeans. And jeans always have to be high-waisted. I don't like things that are cheaply made. I like high-quality pieces that are made to last. If I don't know how to combine something, I will never ever wear it. I like ease and practicality. I have more rules like this, but you get the gist by now. See if you can make a list for yourself because this really helps. One bad habit to fall into, and I certainly have done this myself, is not shopping for the real you, but shopping for the fantasy you, the fantasy life and lifestyle instead of the one that you actually have and the person that you actually are. So take a moment to think about the different roles you have in your life and which items are needed for them. Maybe you need kind of like business attire for your work, but you like to dress casually in your free time. Maybe you need items that are mostly practical for work and you like to dress up in your free time. So think about the different roles you have and the clothing items that fit those. If the amount of time you spend in those roles is about 50-50, then your closet can be 50-50 as well. And of course, there's always the option of going for things that you can either dress up and dress down so you can wear in both occasions. But this is kind of like what your wardrobe can look like. Most of all, you want your wardrobe to make sense. So the pieces in there need to fit your life and not the other way around. Declutter before purchasing new things. And this is not because you're only allowed to have a certain number of items in your closet. No one can decide what that sweet spot is for you or which items are still considered minimalist. But this is important because you might already have your really good minimalist wardrobe hidden in between all of the rest of the items. The worst habit probably that I had to break was shopping first instead of decluttering first, because I ended up buying so many things that didn't really add anything to my wardrobe, because usually I already had a lot of those kinds of things in there, or they were the kind of things that I didn't really have anything to combine them with, so I never ended up wearing them. The key about decluttering is that it really makes you see which kind of items you already have, and therefore also which items would actually add value if you were to buy them, if they could make your closet more practical or functional or versatile or fun. And of course, it's nice to just get rid of all of the clutter that is making your closet look way more complicated than it needs to be. Only buying items that you are absolutely sure about. I cannot tell you how many things I bought that I was already feeling unsure about in the fitting room, but I just kind of wanted to be more trendy. I wanted to be the kind of person who wears things like that, or maybe the person that I was with or the person who works in the store told me like, yeah, that looks really nice on you, and we feel like, maybe we should be a bit more adventurous. But in the end, if you are already feeling unsure about the color or the size or the fit or the kind of piece that it is very likely that you will never end up wearing it. So just leave it be. Trust me, there is plenty more where that came from. So there is no need for FOMO here. This is probably one of the biggest changes that I've made when it comes to shopping, making sure that I'm really sure about an item before I buy it, and otherwise just thinking about it for a while. If at all possible, I always try things on in a physical store. I have wider hips and I have a butt, and I really don't mind that. But it does make it so that especially bottoms are hard to find for me. So I like to try them on in the store and only buy them if I'm really sure about them. So usually that means that I will end up trying on 20 different things and buying only 1 or 2, which is why I hardly ever go shopping anymore. Versatility. Can you see yourself wearing an item like that often and combined in different ways? Do you already have things that fit with it? And a minimalist wardrobe doesn't have to be boring basics. It can be as much color and prints as you like, but it really does help if the things that you buy are practical and versatile. The only exception that you can make, and that I have also made once or twice, if you do want to mix up your style and try different things, then you can buy a whole outfit. For example, like buy the whole mannequin's outfit together, so that it is new and it doesn't really fit with what you already have, but at least it fits with each other so that you can start wearing it as soon as you get home. Try on everything you have. It's really easy to always gravitate towards the same items, and there are likely some pieces in your closet that rarely get worn. And this doesn't always mean that they need to be decluttered. It might just mean that you need to try them on to see how you could wear them. When it comes to pieces like this, what I usually do is just kind of bury my head in the sand and ignore them and just let them hang there. But that's a mistake, because it's items like that that can really clutter up your wardrobe and make it feel more complicated and like you have nothing to wear. So if that resonates with you, then it's time to do something about it. I've gotten in the habit of actually trying them on to find different outfit combinations that could work for them. And you could even take a few photos of yourself to see how they look on you and even how your posture changes when you wear them. Actually trying on everything you own can give you a lot more clarity about what it is that you do like and don't like. Sometimes you might discover an item that you really like and that you can wear in a bunch of different ways, and it's like you're shopping your own closet. And other times you might see like, yeah, this is actually one of those things that doesn't do anything for me anymore, and then you can declutter it. Be careful with trends. Trends come and go. Maybe I'm not the right person to talk about this because I have never been into trends. I've never been into fashion necessarily, so it's not something that I think about. But just be careful when it comes to trendy items, because they are usually not very versatile. They can only be worn a specific way when they're trendy, and when they're not, you're just kind of stuck with them. I prefer pieces that are more timeless, that I can wear again and again, year after year. And it also just saves me a lot of money, because I never feel like I have to like buy my way into a certain trend that I see all the other people outside wearing. Also, be intentional when it comes to the different sizes of items in your wardrobe. I'm not going to say just declutter everything that you can no longer wear or that no longer fits, because that depends on the situation. For me, I had a bunch of clothing items in my closet that had gotten too small for me, and I did decide to let go of them because they were making me feel badly about my body changing and about getting older and, you know, putting on some pounds. And it felt really nice to only have items in my wardrobe that really suit me and that really fit me and flatter me. And I've never regretted my decision to get rid of those items that were too small. Even now that I've lost some of that weight again, I've lost about 15 pounds in the last year and a half. I could probably wear them again, but I still don't regret getting rid of them, because all this time they were not there to make me feel badly, and I had a closet that I just really liked. However, if you're someone whose weight fluctuates a lot, or maybe you are pregnant or just had a baby, or maybe you're actively working on losing or gaining some weight and those clothing items motivate you on your journey, then I would say keep them around, because it doesn't make sense to declutter them now only to have to buy them again later. So in that case, it could make more sense to keep them, and I would recommend to just store them away somewhere so that they are not in your closet when you actually cannot wear them, but keep them around for when you can. Delay your purchases. I think impulse buying is the biggest threat when it comes to creating a wardrobe that you really love. Either you end up buying the same things over and over again, things you already have enough of, or you buy things that you really can never wear. The things that I have thought about the most beforehand are usually the things that I end up loving and wearing the most. So even if I happen to see something that I immediately really love, then I will still wait and think about it for a while. Does it add something to my wardrobe that I don't already have right now? Does it match the criteria that I have for my clothing? And do I see myself having enough opportunities to actually wear this? If you thought it over and you still really want the item, then you can always go back and get it. But just thinking it over and delaying your purchases is very likely going to end up helping you to save money, save space in your closet, and prevent buyer's remorse. I would love to know from you how you would rate your wardrobe as it is right now on a scale of like 1 to 5 stars. How do you feel about your wardrobe? Comment down below. I think in my case, I would give my wardrobe maybe a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Also feel free to check out VIVAIA and get your own eco-friendly shoes with a discount link and discount code in the description box. And I also recommend checking out this video because it is a complete wardrobe tour of everything in my closet right now. As always, questions, comments, conversations down below. Thank you so much for being here and have a wonderful day. I will see you again soon. Bye bye.